They say that 90% of video is audio, and also that the closer you can get your mic to your subject, the better, which is why I personally love lavalier and lapel microphones, and is also why I was very pleased when ESDDI decided to contact me about their new L2 lavalier microphone to review and keep free of charge. But just how is this $20 option? When opening up the box for the first time, you will not only get the lav mic itself, but also a pre-installed windscreen, a 3.5mm to 1/4" jack converter, a short micro B USB cable, and a thick but relatively easy to install dead cat. But the thing that truly surprised me when I was unboxing the microphone was just how nice the build quality was, especially when compared to my old $30 lav mic that I've been using for the past 3 years or so. On the L2, the plug seems relatively strong and the cable is of medium thickness, rubber, and flexible out of the box. Stretching on for a somewhat excessive 20 feet allows for the option to plug directly into the camera nearly all the time. But if you don't want the length, or you don't need the length, there is a pre-installed Velcro strap. Nice. Which brings me to the slightly bulky and very fingerprint attractive control box that holds the rechargeable lithium-ion battery, as well as the on-off switch, with a micro USB port to charge said battery. On the back, there is a very strong and sturdy clip that I don't see ever slipping if attached to clothing. And finally, making our way to the mic end, there is a somewhat large mic capsule paired with an incredibly beefy clip that makes it so I don't see this mic ever falling off unless tugged with force. It is larger than other lav mics. However, I only see this being a proper issue for clothes that lack any hiding spaces or for stealthy applications. But now it's time to look at, or I guess listen to, the audio quality of this microphone. This time I did two comparisons. First, with my Pro mic setup, the L2 plugged into an iPhone 6s Plus, and my old lav into a Zoom H1. And the second, a comparison between the lav mic going into my phone and the built-in Zoom H1 mics.
Eat each green pea, aim straight
At the game. Ed said, "Get ready. It is in Italy. I tried my kite." Here I am holding the Zoom H1 about a foot away from my face. Here is now that same audio recorder about 2 feet away from my face, holding it at about my waist. When plugged into the iPhone, the L2 frequently gets compressed, sounding not great, but sounding nearly on par with my old lav plugged into my H1. Comparing the two lavs when plugged into audio recorders, my old lav is a bit cleaner and more neutral, with the L2 having more bass coupled with a more muffled sound. And regarding the second test, the H1 did sound better, but it was only when it was close to my face and when I was holding the mic perfectly still, making either lav mic the overall far more reliable solution. And my Pro setup obviously sounded best, but as usual, my voiceover for this whole video has been on the L2. Cable rubbing noise is present from the mic to the battery box, but isn't horrible. And don't plug this microphone into a line port because the mic's output is simply too quiet. Stick to mic ports only. And also, because audio setups on cameras vary wildly, I didn't even try it with my camera. However, the microphone did not work for me when I plugged it into my MacBook Pro. And the dead cat did an okay job at muffling wind sounds, but frankly the normal windscreen is just fine. Just make sure you use one of them if there's any wind, because, well... Which brings me to my conclusion. This mic is some serious bang for buck, and when you consider all the small and extra features that this mic offers, if you do any kind of vlogging, video making, or filmmaking, whether it be narrative or documentary, I think this is a pretty damn good piece of budget kit. So for $20, it is a good recommendation. And if there's a discount of some kind, then I don't see a better option out there. With a follow-up recommendation to grab a cheap audio recorder to plug the L2 into to make it sound even better. So I guess ESDDI, you guys did a pretty good job.